All right, as always, here's the risk disclosure. Trading futures is risky. Know what you're doing before you do it, and you can lose all your money. Also, this is for educational purposes only, not financial advice, and not intended to copy my trades. Good morning, everybody. Morning, Peter. Morning, Jim. How are y'all doing? Let's see. Morning, morning. Looks like we had a little bit of a rundown here. Not too much, but let's see. Make sure all my
double cluster and Q.
Just lower that a little bit. I'll see the sell apex is running. It's a nice one, their biggest one yet. All right.
Double cluster and Q.
All right. Looks like I'm ready to go. Morning, morning. Yeah, it's going on through Wednesdays, so that's nice. The 60% recurring, that's pretty awesome. Looks like we got a bit of a chop going on right now on the simplicity chart. Kind of going sideways on the 10 tick, bunch of clusters.
Potential elevator on NQ.
We're still in this down move. Yeah, I was shocked when I saw that, the 60%. They were like, yep, 60. All right, let's see if we have a better day today. Hopefully no tech errors and market cooperates. Got news in 15 minutes, so not really seeing too much on the 30 tick right now, there is there's a couple areas, I guess. Down here, at 11,053, couple mini magnets and a ZOI. Up above, couple ZOIs. Right below 11,160. So it's really hovering on this dynamic magnet here. In this dev between the dynamic, there's a 30 tick cluster. Let me see something.
Double cluster and Q.
I want to break long here. Yeah, I trade the pre-market mainly. Rarely will I trade after the open. And it's for no reason other than my time, my schedule. So pretty much have to. There's a couple clusters above, but if we get a long, we might try to make our way back up to, there was a crash up here where this ZOI is, right below the dynamic magnet. We are getting a little close to news though. So we'll see if we get a long before news. And if we do, how much before the news. But we might get one here. See how it's going kind of sideways? Bounced off the ZOI crash, broke through the ZOI crash. Now it's testing it. So it may go long from here. We do kind of have an entry here. It's not great. Going in. There we go. Let's see if we get a push up to that wall up here or that ZOI. Once it starts, if it starts heading kind of close to this wall about halfway, I may move to break even because there are a couple clusters on the 30 tick, plus we're getting close to dark zone where the news is coming out. So see, we're hitting the first set of clusters on the 30 tick, or we just did. It's kind of, it just laid a paw too on the 30 tick, so may hesitate here for a minute. this comes back up above my entry, then I'll probably move to even if it gives me a little bit of space, just because, like I said, there's some clusters above, plus we are getting close to news. Just seems as if it does want to make this move long, but it might not. Now we just dropped a red eye zone there, so yeah, I'll be looking to move to even pretty soon if I get the opportunity. There we go. Getting a little push here, though. I'm moving to even. I'm break even now. Let it run if it can run. It may not, though. Those clusters are kind of making it hesitate quite a bit. So that's definitely why I'm at even. Plus, we're getting, like I said, that news. It's a high impact news. If I get knocked out here, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. I'm at even. I was at even. Probably a few ticks profit. Yeah, just a few ticks profit, cover commissions and all. So my goal with that one when I entered was that it would just go ahead and go where my target was, but I didn't want to hang around it too long in case if we got too close to news. So that's also, like, normally I would probably still maybe hang in this one, but we're just getting too close to that news, and with those clusters up there, I want to make sure I don't get caught in the news. Because those clusters up there telling me that it might, this area up here, it might hesitate and kind of bounce around there a little bit before making its way up, which could lead me being in the trade during news. And I do not want that. Sometimes when I jump in a simplicity like that and it doesn't just run, and it hesitates a lot, you know, I kind of, and if it's not giving me any more signals that it might just go, then I just try to move to break even as soon as I can. Yeah, yesterday was not that good. I mean, losing wise, it wasn't that bad. I lost on one LRE and I lost on one simplicity. And then I had some issues. Something weird was going on, so I tried to restart my Rhythmic, and I couldn't get it back on. Like, whenever I opened Rhythmic again, it wouldn't open back up. So it took me about 20 minutes or so before it opened. And then by then, I had like 15 minutes left. The market was kind of funky anyways, so I was like, you know what, I'm done. So dollar-wise, tick-wise, I didn't lose that much. I'm still profitable for the week, but it just wasn't worth it to keep trading, basically. Morning, David. So now it's 8:25. I'm probably going to sit out for the next close to 10 minutes for the dark zone. Because of the news, depending on how the news reacts, might jump in earlier if something comes up before 8:35, but we'll see how the news impacts. Morning, Bill. Dang, of course there's going to be a nice run or a nice setup when the dark zone happens. That happens a lot. But the time you take it, or at least for me, the time I'm like, ooh, this is a good setup, it's probably going to go here. Forget the news. And then I get killed. So Looks like GDP is coming out for Canada also, so that might have an impact too, because that's a high news report, news event. See, normally I would like a short here to break below basically where it might give us an entry, but I'm not taking it. Like right now. See what it does at the ZOI down here. Yeah, Murray. So my ZOIs are copied from the 30 tick to my 10 tick as well. I copy the OP from my 30 to my 10 and simplicity chart.
Double cluster NQ.
That's actually how I found Apex, like in 2018 originally, was through Nadex. And I was horrible at Nadex. But I didn't know what I was doing then either. And then went away from it. And basically when COVID happened in March 2020, got an email from Apex and came on as into the boot camp. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to trade Nadex. I had no idea what I was doing. And I saw the Apex scanner because I think, if I remember right, Nadex didn't have a stop loss or something like that. And I saw the Apex scanner and it had a bunch of tools. I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. Binaries. What happened was, of course, like most people, I traded in Sim and I was like, oh, I'm doing great. So I threw like $500 into an account and it, in like 1 or 2 days, I almost doubled it. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then a couple days later, lost it all. Yeah. But I had no knowledge of trading then either. Yeah, I think that's what it was. The trailing stop. All right, we got about 1 minute left till the news comes out. Maybe like 30 seconds. Ooh, there it goes. Imagine if I would have taken that short. But see, it never works that way where it... See, then you'd get knocked out. That's why I do not jump in. Dang. All right, looks like I'm probably going to take the entire 5 minutes after the news dark zone on this one.
Double cluster NQ.
Looks like most of the news beat expectations.
Double cluster NQ. Double cluster NQ.
Consumer spending month over month beat expectation
Double cluster
by a little bit, so... Which I would think the Fed is going to say, oh, growth, the economy is still going great. Consumer spending is higher than forecasted. So definitely going to go 75 basis points next week. If they go one full point, or 100 basis points next Wednesday, then that's going to rock everything. I think market's already expecting 75. My tick strike is not really lighting up much pre-market. I've never really used it pre-market until today and yesterday. I may have to turn up the sensitivity. Apple, Amazon, all that stuff, of course, is not going to really light up.
Double cluster and cube. Double cluster and cube.
Core price index. Yeah, I don't know if I looked at that one.
Double cluster and cube.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the things that actually impact us on a day-to-day. Still not ready. It's about a minute after the dark zone. I'm still not ready to hop in something quite yet.
OP rejection.
There's nothing to hop into at the moment anyways, but still kind of zooming around.
Cluster and cube.
If this doesn't slow down some, then I'm definitely going to have to... My 15 tick LRE stop is not going to hold up. Most likely. So I don't see any really good levels.
Double cluster and cube.
Let's see if I go...
Potential TX on N cube. Trap orders with exhaustion box on N cube. Potential OP rejection on N cube. Double cluster and cube.
So may want to go short. If we get a... I'd want the short to be below this Paul, though. This Paul and wall. If it goes short. Hope it's not like yesterday where the market was pretty undecided after news.
Potential SLZ on NQ.
I haven't heard anything on the Lorex indicator
Potential TX on NQ.
recently.
Orders with exhaustion box on NQ. SLZ on NQ. Double cluster NQ.
I know from the get-go it was always intended to continue working on it and improve and do different things. So maybe they're continuing that. I'm not sure. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I hate missing the trade room after the open. You get it, just being in there, you'll pick up a lot of golden nuggets, but then also, a lot of times you'll get some new updates on systems and things like that before everybody else. And for anybody that's on here now that is not aware of what I'm doing, what charts you're seeing, this is the Apex investing charts. This is their tools. And I use what the main chart you're seeing is a 10-tick chart with what's called diagnostic bars. And the one on the bottom left is a simplicity chart. It uses implied volatility and price action. Oh, that'd be great, Brian. Because, yeah, I know right now that it pretty much detects any Lorex. And then it has the two-part to it, too. So the stronger ones and not so strong ones. So that'd be awesome if it was even more picky. Because I always picked the wrong ones. So we're getting a short here. We're heading right into that Paul. So I'm not jumping in right now. I actually probably will skip this simplicity if it does run short, just to confirm that it does want to go, and I'll probably look for an LRE. Because there's these couple Pauls, these thick lines here are Pauls on the 30 tick. Yeah, see, it just blew right through them. But now we're hitting that lower Paul, two walls, and a dynamic magnet. See how it laid two clusters there too. ZOI on the 30 tick here, so I really wanted to break there first to kind of prove it to me. It's kind of how I look at these a lot of times. It's, prove it to me that you're going to go before I go with you. There we go. Now it's going. Maybe. It's still kind of at that dynamic magnet. I think it will, but ooh, and it laid a mini magnet right on top of that wall. Kind of push off there. Mini magnet on a wall is pretty strong. Yeah, I'd want it to run down a little more, continue running down, and then pull back for an LRE. Probably gonna have to try to change my ATM here. Go for my after the open targets because market's moving quite a bit.
Double cluster NQ.
Yeah, it's very similar to Renko, but it's not what it is it's a tick, but 10 tick bar basically. It moves every 10 ticks, 0 time attached, but it's behind the bars. It's actually calculating the orders and contracts and all that, and everything that you see here, like these purple lines, everything that basically is derived from a bar is called an order print. So it leaves that behind to let us know kind of what was happening in the background. All right, now it might be trying to make its way down since it's breaking that wall. We do have some ODD building up on the 30 tick, but we'll see how that goes. Let me pull that over real quick. There you go. Let's see. And an LRE would be up back above an LRE entry above this area that I was looking for it to break. So I'm not going to take an LRE unless if it's below that dynamic magnet ZOI, that area. Because if it comes back above it, I won't like it.
Double cluster NQ. Double cluster NQ.
There is a ZOI on the 30 tick where that LRE would be, but now we have some ODD. That bar closed on the 30 tick, 71%. So yeah, I'd be looking for this to continue short before I take a LRE short.
Double cluster NQ.
There it goes.
Double cluster NQ.
See, had you taken that, or I taken that short, I would have been in all that nice chop before it broke. So now we laid a mini magnet going down on the 30 tick, so I like that. To where if this came down and gave me an LRE off of it, would be nice, but it's probably actually an LRE back here up off this dynamic magnet where it couldn't break would be nice,
Cluster NQ.
which would be up here in this area.
Potential setup A on NQ. Potential TX on NQ.
See, I would have liked this short, but off that mini magnet on the 30 tick, but there was no LRE entry there. It ended up giving a ETX with HD right there off that 30 tick mini magnet. To me, that's almost a no-brainer sniper trade.
Double cluster NQ.
Yeah, that was basically a no-brainer right there. All right, now we're down at the dev. See if we can continue down from here. Price is back to where it was before the news. As I've mentioned many times, usually that will happen after news. Price will come back to where it was trading. Most cases. In this case, I didn't love the short that was happening because we had those obstructions in the way. So I wanted to wait. If we get another short, if we get an LRE off of this same level up here, I'm going to go short off of it. It might happen. Right here off this level.
Potential TX on NQ.
See, if you just wait, if you're doing snipers right now and wait for setups that look like this and just take things like that, ooh, you'll do great. All right, we have a little crash here now on the 10 tick.
Double cluster NQ.
See if we get an LRE up there. Come on back up there. It kind of went a little sideways on the 10 tick down here now, so I want to see what happens up here at this level if it comes back up there, because that's still an LRE. So
Double cluster NQ.
see, where's this cluster? Up here at this wall. All right, so if I get an LRE there off of this level that I want, it may stop at the wall.
Potential SLZ on NQ.
So if I do get in, once the price comes back down to the wall, if that happens, I'll move to break even in case if it can't break the wall. Needed to pull up a little bit more. But it went sideways quite a bit. But this is the first LRE. So if it goes sideways quite a bit and it's the second LRE, I typically don't like that. Because it may chop around here a little bit. Yeah, it didn't pull up enough. So it gave an SLZ here with a green eye block. Short, I wish that would have happened a little higher up here where the LRE was. So now I'm probably not, or now actually I'm not going to take another LRE here unless if price comes below this dynamic magnet. And the reason is because if you look at the 10 tick here, it had this tight little range, broke out of it. Now it's come back down. So if it comes back up here again, unless if I get a really nice ODD or potential Lorex or something with it, then I will stay out of it because it may break through and run up. And even then, I'll probably not want to go 40 ticks. Go back to my normal ATM. Yeah, see here we're chopping around a little bit now and leaving all kinds of order prints behind. So definitely not going to take a short if it comes back up there. Unless, like I said, it gives something extremely nice to go short here, potential setup. But I don't think that'll happen. No, now it's wanting to leave a mini magnet there. Well, it didn't do it, but there's nothing telling me this is going to bounce and come back short. If anything, I'm thinking it might actually break it and go long. I don't know. We do have some HD building on the 30 tick, but I don't like all this OP down here now. Yep, see? There it goes. Broke right through. That's why I didn't take it. Might get a long. If we get a long above this dynamic magnet.
Double cluster NQ.
Yeah, you can see the pattern change too, you know. I would prefer the long to go above this dynamic magnet walls area here if I did go long.
Double cluster NQ.
Because it's still kind of building up HD on the 30 tick to go short. Yeah, see that bar closed down. 613% HD. Let me pull that over. So I would not want to go long right this second. See, 613, unless this bar closes up and it breaks above these ZOIs. And if it leaves this mini magnet here, that'd be beautiful. Volume's better than yesterday.
Double cluster NQ.
Try to pull in the volume, or look at the volume when we're getting close to the 9 o'clock mark. $11.41. Yeah, I'd want a break of this dynamic magnet first. And for it to leave this mini magnet on the 30 tick. Yeah, yesterday was definitely not great for simplicity, it didn't seem. But the other days I had some pretty good wins. But this entire week's kind of been up and down. Kind of mixed. All right, now we are creating maybe a chop on the 50 tick. We'll see if we can break this dynamic magnet up here in that area. But if this comes back down to 11,121, that'll create the third bar of a chop on the 50 tick. 11,146.75. 11,146.75 up here would have a 50 tick bar close up. Let me see if I can pull that over. Well, give me a second. I don't want the market to run away without me. All right, we're approaching the dynamic magnet again. Let's see what it does. All right. Here we go. Hitting that wall. See if we get a long confirmation here.
Double cluster NQ.
We got a long. See if we can make a run up to this dev level.
Potential TX on NQ. Potential setup A on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. Setup A on NQ.
Do have a ZOI right here, which is copied from the 30 tick. So maybe get a little hesitation if we get up there. But if it breaks that, we'll at least go up to this thicker wall, I believe. Oh, we just laid a crash on the 10 tick, so that's nice, below me. Hopefully that'll hold up as a support. All right, we're hitting that ZOI that I mentioned that it might give us a little hesitation at. See if we can break it. There we go. It's trying. Tighten up my stop behind this wall. See, there's the hesitation at the ZOI. I don't think it's enough to hold it up, but yeah, I may test this crash and then go long from there. So yeah, see the ZOI held it up a little bit. I don't think it's strong enough to keep it from continuing long, but we'll see. It's testing that crash for sure. Well, see what it wants to do here. Laid another crash. Hopefully don't start chopping now. I wanted my target up here to this thicker blue wall, but maybe that ZOI was strong enough to keep it from getting there. We'll see. See if we can come test this COI up there again. Break through it. We laid a paw on the 30 tick going long. Hopefully that's going to help push it up. See if we can break the ZOI now. Maybe just needed a little momentum. If we can break the ZOI, that'd be great. Getting rejected at the ZOI again. Probably not. I'm probably going to go to break even if it breaks the ZOI. Because if I put it behind the ZOI, that might be a little too tight. It might want to run long from the ZOI and then come back and test it maybe before it keeps going long, if that happens. Right now I'm down here behind the paw, if you can see. I know it's on the smaller chart, but I don't use an ATM for simplicity. I just enter and then I throw in I manually throw in a stop where it's supposed to be on the simplicity lines. All right, I'm moving to break even. Here we go. Now I'm behind the ZOI because it shot up. And if it hits that target up there, I'm probably just going to tighten up. Here we go. I'm tightening up some more. There we go. Knocked me out. So it pretty much got really close to my target. And then since there's double walls right there, it might bounce around a little bit. So I put my stop behind the wall. Knocked me out, but I got 50 plus ticks on it. So I'm okay with that. See, now we're at where my target, where I was looking. Yeah, that's a 30 tick. Both of those ZOIs are a 30 tick ZOI that's copied onto my 10 tick. Now I'm going to look for an LRE. So, I mean, yes, I would love to still be in this trade. And it's probably going to run up to this dev. But when I come up to these levels, these walls, I always tighten up. Because if you've seen any of my other ones, you know, I always say I'd rather tighten up and get knocked out than not tighten up and it, you know, be up 50 plus ticks and come back to break even.
Double cluster NQ.
So, no FOMO. Yeah, because I could have had another 16 points on there, but it's still running. But I'll look for the LRE. Exactly. That's what I always look back to. It says the most professional traders, if they get a third of the run, they're satisfied. Nice, Murray. You were in that one? That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to go to the thicker wall, but it bounced. It threw up that cluster and kind of came down a little bit on the wall below the thicker one. So that's where it knocked me out.
Double cluster NQ.
Oh, man, it's going to go up to that. That's a nice level here. This dynamic magnet,
Double cluster NQ.
mini magnet, and wall. That's a nice target. It's throwing up some clusters now. we're at the dev, and many times market can chop around the dev. So if you're still in this, just know that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice that was an SLZ, but it sure is. Where that Paul was. That I had my stop under. That was an SLZ. Nice. See, and that's the beauty of money management. I had two, like I said, I had an LRE loss and a simplicity loss yesterday. And this one trade made up for it and put me back in profit on top of the loss yesterday. So not only did it wash my loss yesterday, it put profit on top of it. So it's 909. So let's see if I can get me an LRE or something before I have to sign off here. So that does make this some definitely profitable week for sure. I'll pull up my let's see if we get an LRE here. The only thing about an LRE here is it'll put my profit going back through the dev. Yeah. I'm just glad the market settled down after the news. Yesterday, it didn't settle down for me, really. I guess it kind of did, but it was just really weird. Yeah, this thing ran from dev to dev, really. Not the trade itself, but the market. Let's see. If it does pull back for an LRE here, I'm going to skip because we are going sideways. My profit target would be through the deviation level again. So yeah, I'd prefer this to run up, hit this area where it looks like it wants to go hit, then give me an LRE back down here somewhere, even though I don't love it off the dev. A lot of times if it hits a level like this, or it could break through the level, come back and test it, that'd be nice too. But if it gets rejected at this level, comes down and gives an LRE here, a lot of times it'll want to go test it again. And then that second test, it might break. But yeah, that's all irrelevant if it just goes through now. For the bar sizer, I don't have a bar sizer. Now an LRE would be at the dev.
Double cluster NQ.
Let's see if we get one here. If we build up some HD, that would be nice to take off the dev. Oh, Nikita, right here, the bar ranges on the right here. Yeah, I'll pull that up. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure and see what happens here with the market. I think I do like a 1, 20, and 40, but I'll confirm that. Yeah. I just want to see what it's going to do here. I mean, it may not be anything when it comes back down. At this point, I kind of would prefer to break through, run long, kind of towards the flux up here, and then pull back down to test this area to give me an LRE long off of that. Although, looking way left on the 30 tick. Let me see. It couldn't break that area, left those double ZOIs and a cluster. So let's see what happens here. See the double ZOIs. If you look way left, double ZOIs cluster, that was the top that we're approaching. Basically 11,200. Looks like it's laid a crash on the 10 tick. Yeah, same here, Todd. I'd kind of prefer that. Let's see. We're approaching an LRE, but I don't really love this. And there's a cluster. I'm staying out. Well, I don't know. We're going down and hitting this double cluster, but no, I'm staying out because there's a cluster on the 30 tick on this bar that we're on. And I don't like that. I don't like that. So if we didn't have this cluster here, I'm not going to take the trade, so I'll go ahead and show. If we were pulling down to this double cluster, I would love that. Because a lot of times it'll come test clusters like this and then bounce up. But because, like right now is an LRE, but since we have this cluster on this bar that we were just on, I don't like that. I don't like that. So it could chop around here a little bit. If it wasn't on that current bar, then I would have taken this LRE long. And it may still get the win, but I don't like it for that reason. Lots of clusters. It couldn't break this top, this 11,200 earlier. Ooh, might get a Lorix here. Nope. See, there it goes. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the top and we start running short now. Like if we get a short under this dev, that might happen. It's tempting. If that LRE would hold, it's tempting, but I can't go against that one cluster that I was explaining. That to me is usually the biggest red flag no matter what else comes up. If there's a cluster, that's kind of my own rule that I made. If there's a cluster on the 30 tick on the current bar that I'm at for the LRE, I skip because a lot of times they don't go good for me. Now we have all these clusters in this area. We didn't trigger a short yet, but it may lay a mini magnet here on the 30 tick going long with HD. If that happens, then it might break through that top if that happens. But if it doesn't happen and we get a short, then that's where we're going to just probably make our way back down to these ZOIs and even further, probably. Seems like this 11,140 area was a good area of interest. This 11,140 where we had this ZOI cluster, it seems to, then it laid the two crashes there, kind of seems to. So if this doesn't hold up where it gives this mini magnet, in HD to go long and bust this top, I would expect it to come back down to this 11,140 area.
Potential set of A on NQ.
Yeah, exactly. A cluster on a current bar can go either way. And I don't, I want to put the probabilities in my favor. So it kept that mini magnet with the HD, the bar closed up. So it may bust through the top. We'll see. There's a lot of clusters there, so it could just chop here. It might even just chop here till the open. All right, let's see. I know I had... Oh, okay. Jean. Okay, so my simplicity entry. Let me pull up my simplicity chart here to the larger... If you could see... Hold on, let me make sure you can see. Because I'm pretty much done for the day. It's already hit my time, and I don't want to give back any profits on a Friday. Yeah, see, if we get a long above these double ZOIs, there's a good chance it could run. So let's see, let me scroll back a little bit. Okay, here was my entry on the simplicity long. Here's the entry bar. So technically the stop is 5 points below this dot. So right here where this I block is, so that's where I put my stop, was right below this I block. It's a pretty big stop, not gonna lie. But then it came back up and once came back down, and then once it went up and broke this area, I just left my stop behind this paw here, which ended up being an SLZ on the 30 tick. And I left it there until it really cleanly broke this ZOI. And then I moved to break even, and then I moved under the ZOI, and then I kind of tightened up to the wall right here where it knocked me out. Yeah, see, it looks like we may chop here for a while. Let's see. Yeah, and these live streams too, they all they stay on my YouTube on replay. So you can always go back, and I add chapters later, so you can just, jump to the trades or whatever and see how I managed it while it was live. Yeah, exactly. I move it based on the OPs that I see, as well as the solid line on simplicity. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll stay behind OP before I move it with the solid line. Yeah, still feeling pretty good about simplicities. Actually, I'm feeling really good about simplicities. The biggest thing with me in the past, why I always jumped off of simplicities, because everybody knows for the longest, I had discipline problems until basically this year. And so, especially with simplicity, we know how much you can make and how big of a run you can go on. So you feel like you're still always in the game. It's almost like if you go like in baseball, you're always hitting home runs, and then you get struck out, but the next time up, you're like, I know I hit home runs all the time, so let me go ahead and try it for this home run, when you probably should have stopped. So that was always my thing. So now, since I've been great at my money management, I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and get back in simplicity, stick to the money management, turn on my my own trading limits within Rhythmic. And when I get knocked out, I get knocked out. Just turn those accounts off and, just look for LREs on the other accounts. That's kind of why I did that too. I have separate accounts for different things. Well, no, that was, yeah. So the discipline problems was whenever I first started trading. It took me probably close to 2 years, and that was the whole revenge trading, spiraling out of control, blowing out accounts, just like everybody else. And then this year, 2022, this entire year, I've been pretty good discipline-wise and haven't blown an account. The last account I've blown out was like at the very beginning of the year. Other than that, I haven't been blowing accounts at all, not breaking my money management, because I see the power in it, Once you really see the power in it and the results, it gets hard to start breaking those rules, and you can really become robotic with your trading. What made me change my discipline was I was spending way too much money on evaluation accounts. I wouldn't go to sim. I told myself I have to make myself suffer enough by spending money to where I'm either going to change or I'm just going to have to quit. And so I had to make that change. Oh, yeah, Nikita, let me pull up. Man, we might be getting a long... Ooh. Okay, so look at this. Real quick, I'm not going to take a trade. We're too close to open, but you see how Simplicity is teasing a long now? Check this out. It's teasing a long, but look, we have on the 30 tick ODD, right? Big hill, little hill. Might be laying a mini magnet with a TX right here on this double ZOY where it couldn't break before in the past. So I would actually skip this Simplicity long if it gave me one, and I'd wait for it to run and then give me a pullback LRE off of this level. You know, if this was different circumstances. And there's a crash there now too. It may go, but that's this 30 tick is telling me it might not go. It probably won't go. And now Lorex short. Yeah. The dinosaur indicator? Which I don't know what that is. Oh, that, yeah. That's the streaming program I use. If I get a new subscriber, then it pops up. The dinosaur. Yeah, you see how it's struggling? I mean, it may go, but that's just a sign that this thing might either chop or have some trouble. It's not a no-brainer that it's going to go, basically. Nikita, let me pull up my... bar range indicator. If it comes up. Oh, there we go. Bar range. So bar range 1. Yeah, I have it. The offset 1 tick. Bar range 2, 20 ticks. Bar range 3, 40 ticks. Yeah. So 120, 40. I must have missed the dyno on that one. That's funny. That'd be awesome if there was such an indicator stomped the market. Oh, look, it's running. It's running. Now we're in dark zone anyways. But you see how it did hesitate. It did hesitate and, you know, gave this bar shot up. So if it comes back down and tests that area, especially that crash, would be a nice point for an LRE long. Although, like I said, 925, 5 minutes to the open. So I'm just going to take my profit for the day. I have 5 monitors right now. I need one more, actually. I have one monitor for each chart. 10 tick, 30 tick, 50 tick, and Simplicity. That's why y'all see me looking all kinds of crazy, looking around. Yeah, I think 4 definitely is best minimum.
Double cluster NQ.
Let's see. Analysis.
Double cluster NQ.
This is weird. Yeah, I have to look up. But also the thing is that I have my mic here too, so I'm worried sometimes when I'm looking up if you're not gonna be able to hear me in the mic. So I kind of have to like stay scrunched a little bit.
Setup A, setup B on NQ. Potential TX on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ.
All right, yep, market's about to open, so it is time for me to head off of here. End of the trading week. It's kind of an up and down week, but overall, not too bad. And yeah, so yeah, dark zone. Market about to open in a minute. So y'all have a great trading day. Take care and have a great weekend and take advantage of the sell. That sell is amazing. So, all right. Talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all Monday. Take care.